name's Owen, and I'm the Dungeon Master of our Return of the Giants 5th edition homebrew campaign.
Hi, I'm Ali. I'm playing Lyra, the Eladrin Spore Druid, and she is just a little bit obsessed with mushrooms.
Hi, my name's Simon. I'm playing the character of Ember. I'm a wildfire druid who's on a quest to be the very best there ever was.
Hi, I'm Dave, and I play Harry Harrington, the Harrengon, the roguish merchant with the heart of gold.
My name is Christian. I'm playing Bartholomew, the romantic dancing Owlin, Paladin of devotion.
Hi, my name is Matt, and I'll be playing Niles Silverwind, the Owlin, Way of the Sympathy Monk.
Hey guys, I'm Jared. I play the character of Threign, the boisterous frost giant, the Goliath, path of the giant Barbarian.
Hello there, lovely listener. This is just a warning to let you know that this episode of Return of the Giants may contain adult language or adult themes. Hello!
Hey.
Greetings! Welcome back, everybody. It is wonderful to see all of you joining us once again for our Return of the Giants campaign, and we are excited. We are ready. We are raring to go. First announcement of the night, I no longer have to play as Threign. Jared is back. It's Return of the Jared tonight.
It's been a lot going on.
Literally Return of the Giant of the party for tonight's session.
I almost missed tonight too, but I can't see my niece that was just born today.
Are you choosing this over a newborn child?
I can't see the niece yet, unfortunately.
Okay,
so
fair enough.
Physically, I can't actually go see it. Otherwise, it would be there. But
Okay.
I'll see her when she comes home.
Look. I think your priorities are correct. I think you tried to choose family first, but when you were offered the option, you switched to D&D. I think that's the correct way to go.
Yeah,
life comes first.
More strong-armed into doing D&D because I literally it's only my brother and my mum and her mum that went to the hospital. But I'm an uncle now, which is really interesting to say.
Wow.
Uncle Jared. Yeah, that does sound weird, doesn't it?
It does. Unky J.
And that's the spin-off that we're going to be working on coming this summer. We'll see you soon for Unky J. This summer, Unky J. That sounds like an Adam Sandler film. I'm not going to lie.
It does.
Oh,
Doesn't
no.
it?
It does.
The modern ones haven't been so good of late.
No. I would argue the old ones either, to be honest, but that's a personal opinion.
Oh, the old ones are classics.
They're classics, but are they good?
Yes.
Okay, fair.
Objectively.
Objectively. Okay, well, Dave has spoken, everybody. You make sure you listen when Dave speaks, and Dave has spoken. So it is obviously wonderful to have Jared back. I've been playing as Threign for the past couple of sessions. Very, very excited to hand Threign back over to you.
Hey, no, you actually did pretty well. I listened to everything up until now. I did a big binge today while playing Helldivers.
Perfect. I've heard a lot of good things about Helldivers. A lot of people are saying I should check it out. I will check it out. I promise. I just can't afford it right now.
It's been out for 3 or 4 weeks, and I've already got nearly 70 hours. Oh.
That's almost Dave levels of video game commitment.
Damn.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, Dave. I can see your Steam history. Can't fool me.
That's just my main account.
That's exactly. No, so it is. Thank you for saying. I always try my best whenever I have to play as a player character in someone's absence to minimize what I do for a start, minimize any big decisions, and if I have to talk as them or make decisions, then try and go with the general theme and patterns of what I've observed. And I mean, I do take notes on each of your characters, the decisions you kind of make, because it helps me as a DM to understand how your characters think and act in certain situations. Really quick pro DM tip that I thoroughly recommend, which made a huge difference for me. This was recommended by Josh the Pirate. Understand the psychology of your player characters, and you'll be able to understand exactly how to add things into the campaign that they're going to want to do, figure out in advance what they're going to be more likely to say yes to, what they're going to be less interested in, and you can really start to sort of tailor the campaign and minimize the amount of work you do behind the scenes. Because if you understand the characters, it's a lot less work for you in coming up with ideas for what they're going to enjoy, what they're going to like, and a lot less trial and error. So that was a really, really cool hint. I thank him for that. It's been an awesome change of pace. There is going to be some more member-only stuff coming soon. I've actually got some polls coming out for YouTube members that I need some advice on some NPCs. So you'll be helping me choose our NPCs as well for the upcoming Curse of Strahd and also for our new Avatar Legends campaign, which is coming shortly. So I'll be putting those polls up. Only members can vote on them, so I'll be very, very excited to hear your feedback. And Avatar Legends brings us very nicely into the final announcement for tonight. Our Kyoshi era campaign is coming really, really soon. Not this week, not next week, but I'm hoping that we'll be starting the week after. So that'll be the second last week of March, if my math is correct. And we'll be doing character art reveals before that for each of the new characters, as well as the actual character sheet reveals as well. So you can see the playbooks they've chosen, as well as some of the aspects of the characters. So that's going to be really, really exciting. At the moment, originally we were doing our avatars on a Tuesday night. I'm going to have a bit of a rework of the days potentially with avatars. So I'll be talking to the cast first and we'll be organizing all of that. I'll have an announcement for which days we'll be streaming avatars shortly, but Tuesday nights aren't as easy for me as they used to be. So I'll let you guys know as soon as I know more about Tuesday nights. I just need to know exactly what my schedule looks like, and then I was going to talk to the rest of the cast. So I can see Dave's like, what new days? I don't know yet. I'll have to let you know shortly, because I'm just trying to figure out the new schedule with everything that's moved across to the new house. That's all the fun announcements from me. Anyone got anything fun to share? Anything cool? Has anyone seen Dune 2 yet? I'm going to see it this weekend. I'm excited.
Oh, not yet.
I'm excited.
No, I haven't. I do want to. I've been wanting to go to the movies, but at the time that I had been wanting to go a couple of weeks ago, there was just nothing but Madam Web, and I was like,
I'd keep your money.
You could see Madam Web for the lols, you know?
High quality movie. Why did you go say that?
I want to watch them.
Oh, I do have an announcement, actually, I guess, kind of. Until I get a full roster of the cast, I'm not sure if I... Yeah, look, we'll keep partially secret, I guess. So the collector's market coming up this year for 2024. Owen is one of our players, alongside some friends and family with some local businesses, just like Dorky Desires from last time, who are going to be some of our cast members on the live stage D&D one-shot that we're going to be running. I think it's on the Saturday. They got the dates on the website. Well, I'll have to double-check that. But for that one, we are running it as well on Gold Coast and Tabletop Con. But for the collector's market in Brisbane, I've just had a confirmation from a old TV personality, someone that I'm friends with, from Good Game Spawn Point.
Very exciting.
Nice.
So they're going to be one of the players, but once I get the full cast and roster and make all the advertisements, then I'll put it up at the moment. So I guess just keep your eyes peeled on Owen's socials for Lost Archives.
Yeah, I'll be posting it on the YouTube
stuff, and then I'll put it on Hermes D&D as well.
That's very exciting. I've actually started the some plans for the new costume. Obviously, we did a tiefling last year. As much as I'd love to repeat the costume, I feel like I can't.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to like, because reusing it with cosplays, that's always the downside of like, it sometimes is a one-time use thing because you want to do something different. So you spent like $400 on the costume that you're never going to use again.
Oh, right now I did not spend $400 on that costume.
I do when I cosplay. It's bad habit. But it's always fun to do different things. So do you have... Can we get any leaks on that?
I'm currently looking into... Yeah, so I'm lucky enough that my partner Alice actually has a sewing machine and can sew. She knows how to follow sewing patterns. So that's a massive boon in my favor. And I have a 3D printer. And that I can finally set up. Now that I'm in the new house, I can finally set up the 3D printer. I've had it like since I was in Melbourne. I've had it for like 5-6 years, but I've not been able to use it for the last 4 while I've still been house jumping. But now I can set it up. There's a space for it in the garage. I'll have it set up by the end of this weekend. So at the moment, I'm actually thinking of kind of doing a bit of a Firbolg. So okay. I've seen a really nice fabric on Spotlight that looks a lot like moss. And so I'm thinking I might get like a brown material as a cloak and then stitch in these like mossy patches. So it's like a Firbolg kind of druid setup. So
just buy like a clown nose from a $2 store.
Look, an option. Yeah, an option. There are also like noses for like goat dress up, and I was like, oh, that's perfect, like the flattened nose. So I was like, okay,
that's smart.
Amazon, man.
For
Amazon.
all the people who dress up as goats,
that's what I was thinking. Dave.
The fact that there's a market, I just googled it and then checked on Amazon, and sure enough, there were all these things. I was like, I'm really surprised.
Some sort of like personal life thing for you.
I also got all these like stuff from Bad Dragon. I don't know what it is, but it seems appropriate for D&D.
Yeah. A case where you wear a leash and go somewhere in the middle of the week.
Oh man, that is very exciting. Back on track. That is very exciting about the collector's market. I am super stoked to be getting back in costume, and now that I'm living a bit closer to the Gold Coast, i.e. on the Gold Coast, I'll be there too. Should be very, very fun. Do I need different costumes for each different one? I probably do, don't I? Feels like I should.
You could probably do the same for both, or you could even whip out the Tiefling for the Tabletop Con one. Obviously, the people on the Gold Coast haven't seen that one. But yeah, Tabletop Con is the one that's being hosted there, which was pretty big last year. And they did a live stage session. I was going to be the one to run it and do 2 last year, but I ended up getting some sickness. I was sick for the entirety of the event, so they had someone else run it, and apparently it was a little last minute rushed. I don't know.
It wasn't the polished professional approach that we see.
It didn't have the support apparently that the collector's market one that we ran had, which was crazy. It went amazing. So fingers crossed.
That was a lot of fun.
2024.
Oh, that was fantastic. No, I'm super excited, and we'll see if we can get a recording. If we can, that'd be sick. We'll
I tried to for this.
Yeah, we couldn't last year in the end, but maybe this year we'll see.
But no,
that's okay. Maybe this year we'll see if we can. If we can, I'll with permission, I'll edit it down, do some audio cleaning up and balancing, because obviously with the echo in the open space, I'll play around with that and see if we can get it looking and sounding really nice, and we can chuck it up on the channels, people to watch.
Man, I think some of the viewers would love to see Owen actually as a player.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen often.
Sort of different. No, I think it'd be interesting.
He was a good player.
I play like a DM. I'm like constantly throwing to other characters and like I'm just a DM really every time. I just play as a DM. Although I didn't play as a bard, I was like, no, I'm not playing as a bard. I'll play as a sorcerer instead. Which is basically the same level of charisma. No, so I think I'll keep posted, but at the moment it's looking like it's going to be a Firbolg for the collector's market. I'll if it's something you guys are interested in, let me know and I'll take some photos and do like updates of how the costume's coming along. Yeah,
a vote for like what class and have your community actually help you decide what
they did for the last one. They did for the collector's market. They picked class. Yeah. So I'll do that again. Absolutely, that was loads of fun. Yeah, so I'll do that again. And I think we did that. We did race and class for the charity stream for not Talk Like a Pirate Day. What was the other charity stream we did last year? Yeah, I will. I'll put it out as a vote. People can vote on that. That'll be really, really fun. I'll chuck it in the Discord too. Awesome. I think that's plenty of behind the scenes. Let's jump into the session. I've got a good recap to get us up and running, and we will jump straight back in. We still have a little bit of a split party, so it's going to be interesting to see how we deal with that tonight. The Tempest Adventuring Guild, a name now legendary across the lands of Nostea, has formed a brand new team. Lyra, Niles, Harry, Ember and Threign are delving deep below the earth into the Underdark, seeking to investigate rumours of stone giants taking over territory and arming for war. Now accompanied by Bartholomew, an Owlin taken prisoner by the Duergar, the team are on their way to Blindenstone, the last city stronghold of the Svertniblin. With the Underdark so full of danger, the team sought refuge amongst a Myconid colony in the depths of a large mushroom forest, in return eliminating a tribe of Kuatoa who had been harassing the colony. During their stay, the team learned a little more about each other. Niles and Bart realised they had shared history through close connections. Lyra discovered a deeper connection to the Myconids. Ember found some secret caches of the Society of Brilliance, and Threign experienced the history of his ancestors through a giant dream. Their time resting, however, soon had to end, the gnome guides eager to return to Blindenstone to discover the fate of their comrades. The party departed the circle in 2 groups. Harry and a fugitive Drow, Owlin. I think I can hear myself. There we go, perfect, all good. The party departed the circle in 2 groups. Harry and a fugitive Drow, Owlin, disguised as Lyra in one, and the rest with Ember disguised as Owlin in the other. This was all in an attempt to confuse the Shadowblades, Drow assassins apparently waiting to kill Owlin on sight. Knowing the danger these assassins could pose, and that Ember's disguise wouldn't last forever, the larger group made camp just along the edges of the Dark Lake in an attempt to lure and ambush the Drow. This plan worked, a captain of the Shadowblades revealing himself and requesting they give up Owlin's location, as she was a wanted criminal who must face justice. Threign, finding the situation confusing, goaded the Drow by insulting their matriarch, triggering a fight. With 2 Drow dead and 1 fleeing, the team cast Speak with Dead on the head of the captain in an attempt to learn more about the assassins. Meanwhile, Harry and Owlin made their way to the surface, tracing the path back along the ridge above the mushroom forest. Stopped by the Drow, Initially, it was looking really hopeful that they could bluff their way past. However, when a female drow dressed in elaborate chitin armor mentioned testing for magic, Zaylin pushed Harry into the drow and fled. Watching Zaylin disappear into the tunnels with assassins chasing her down, Harry found himself dashing after to try and save her. While able to initially get in the way, he eventually fell to the poisoned drow blades. This was discovered somewhat by accident by the rest of the party, who were attempting to throw the drow off Zaylin's tail using the sending stones and pretending to be the captain they had just killed. This seemed to work, the drow agreeing to meet up with the party along the path to the Brilliant Tower, home of the Society of Brilliance. Making their way across a ruined bridge, the team were ambushed by some black slime-like creatures, corroding and damaging any weapon that touched them. Clever tactics and focused attacks destroyed the creatures, leaving the team free to continue their journey to rescue Harry. And that is where we left off last session. We're going to be jumping straight back in with the main team. So everyone but Harry, basically. As you stand... It's Dave. I got it sorted. I'm just going to flick on...
I didn't even realize.
No, it's all G-Man. I just chucked...
Liv's playing music over Google Home.
It's very soothing. Nice white noise.
It is very soothing. I just chucked your noise.
I was wondering where the smooth jazz was coming from.
I just chucked... It's all good, Dave. It's all good. I just chucked your noise gate on, Dave, and it's all good. That's fine. I just chucked his noise gate on, and that's perfect. That's sorted out perfectly. Yeah,
I thought I was having an aneurysm. I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm already here. I didn't even hear it.
It's all G. It's all G. I just chucked your noise gate on. It's all fun. Like the noise gate's picking it up.
Liv decided to play music throughout the whole house on all the Google speakers.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's pretty funny.
Because I've got like the weird setup with the headphones in one laptop and the video camera on the other one. I'm like, is it me? What is going on? What have I got playing? I thought I was just going nuts.
It broke me partway through. I had a bit of a laugh halfway through and then had to like get myself back into the intro.
I saw that.
I was enjoying it so much because I could just hear it constantly the whole time because I've got everyone's audio coming through the whole time. Don't worry, mate. Don't worry. Look. And if I need to re-record the intro, I will. It's not a problem. Let me put a cut in. So we jump back in with the main party. So basically everyone but Harry at this point. Harry, we'll come back to you in a minute. We need to talk about you when we get a little bit further ahead, given that more time has now passed for Harry than it has the rest of the party. So Ember, Bartholomew, Lyra, Threign, and Niles, as you stand on this bridge, the broken bridge that crosses over this narrowed section of the Dark Lake, almost like an estuary that feeds into the Dark Lake. The black slimes, the black puddings that you defeated, dissolving away into these fetid pools of this very like opaque grey liquid. Niles, in your hand, you still hold the crystal core that you pulled from one of these creatures, the slime core. Yeah, it's roughly about the size of, you know, those slightly larger marbles, like 10, sort of 15 centimeters across, the large, like ultra large marbles that you used to be able to get. I don't know if you can still get them anymore. I like use them in like marble runs. They were like special big ones you could use in the big marble runs. And it feels cool to the touch, made of crystalline material, many like multifaceted surface. It's not perfectly smooth and spherical. It's almost like a dodecahedron, but the faces of it are irregular. They're not these beautiful carved surfaces. It's much more rough. Underneath the bridge, you can see those pylons with the large, like almost underwater sections of armor and weaponry still piled up at the base of the bridge, partly hidden below the waters of the Dark Lake. I pass over to all of you. What would you like to do?
I'm going to quickly call out to Niles because this is exactly what Bart was worried about. Wanting to leave before creatures were attracted to the light, and we're now getting attacked by creatures. Niles, can you quickly fly up and just have a look back at the campsite and just see if there's anything nearby? We've already dilly-dallied enough talking about history, and I'm afraid that things are starting to come out of the woods.
Oh, of course. Give me a blessed moment. I guess I just fly up into the air and see what I can see.
Yeah, can I grab a perception or investigation check, please, Niles?
It's definitely going to be a perception check.
I suspected as such.
It's going to come through
18.
An 18.
Very nice. Niles, as you take to wing, flying up high above the party, scouting around, your sensitive Owlin eyes still able to see quite a distance in the ever-present gloom of the Underdark. Behind you, the mushroom forest, you can still sort of vaguely see the edges of it, the mushrooms glowing and creating a source of light. There doesn't appear to be any movement coming from the path behind you. As you quickly scan across the waters of the Dark Lake, phantom breezes seem to rustle the surface of this impossibly still lake. Occasionally ripples moving out from the center, but not heading towards the party specifically. These seem to be sort of general ripples, maybe creatures moving below the surface. You think you catch a glimpse of something flash, maybe silver scales of a fish or something similar as it darts to the surface and then swim back down into the gloom again. The path ahead, as you look up and across the bridge, seems to be clear as well. If there are dangers behind or ahead, they're well hidden. And not currently heading for the party.
I guess with that information, I fly back down next to Bart and I just relay that information. I didn't see anything from up above. I don't think there's anything coming towards us. Maybe some things in the water, perhaps. But I think we're okay unless they've hidden themselves well in the darkness.
Okay. Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but we were already slowing down talking about a battle that happened decades ago. I think we need to get going. And from the sounds of our friend, Lindenstone, and then straight to Harry.
Yep. Let's go. Lead the way, Bart.
I'll I guess whistle Feyrev over and like offer a hand to Lyra to help her hop off if she's okay with that, or to Kong-Chi. Do you mind?
Oh,
it was only temporary, so we're close. And I'll jump on and get going, I guess.
Yeah. As you begin moving across the bridge, keeping an eye out, aware of danger, the remnants of the black puddings completely dissolve away, leaving nothing in their place. Along the bridge, as I described before, you can see the rusted, corroded remains of metal. Armor, weapons, maybe all broken and dissolved. On your back, Threign, the three deep gnomes, the Sverniblin, lean over and look over the edge. Gobbledygook and Noose, keeping a bit of an eye out as they look across. Noose in your ear whispers, "Want to be a little bit careful, lad. Just make sure that you're keeping clear of those puddles. They're still corrosive. Yep, that's it. Just step over it. Yeah, perfect." As you begin sort of making your way across the bridge. While Bartholomew, Threign, Niles, you're up above keeping watch, Ember and Lyra, what would the two of you be doing?
I'd probably just be following close behind. I was interested in some of the armor underneath, but considering now that we think things might be coming, I'd be joining up with the group and getting a bit of a hustle on.
Yeah, no worries at all. Lyra?
I think, so Lyra's probably sticking towards the back of the party with Tim, like, definitely keeping up with everyone, but probably a little bit more distracted, like, taking a look around, like, are there any of the mushrooms that, like, that tattoo artist had mentioned, for them to keep an eye out, just general, like, observing. It's, like, a brand new place for her, so, yeah.
Do you want to make a perception or investigation check as well then, Lyra, as you're sort of maybe bringing up the rear a little bit, keeping an eye out for things around you? Your choice. 20. Lyra. Unfortunately, those mushrooms the tattoo artist told you to keep an eye out for, none of them appear to be around the edge of the bridge. But down towards near where the water meets these pylons, you can see some very interesting looking lichens growing. Very large, broad-leafed lichens. They're almost bark-like texture wrapping around the lower part of the pylon. The armor that's under the surface of the water, now that you're sort of focusing on it and not in the immediate danger of attack from those slimes, looking under the water, you can see, many piles of what looks like well-made armor and weapons. But with a 20 as you look closer and without the danger around you, you can also see bones as well under the surface of the water, scattered in amongst the piles of weaponry. Old, aged bones, the flesh completely gone.
With the age of the bones, do they sort of look like they're sort of old enough that they would have been from that battle history past that we were sort of talking about as we were originally on the bridge, or do they look somewhat newer, like sort of people have gone down there to try and retrieve some armor and gotten eaten by whatever it is in the dark?
Hard to say with any degree of accuracy, like because you're pretty far away at this point. I mean, the water is 60 feet below you. This is a pretty far distance through the gloom you're peering, but looking at the bones, looking at the armor, I mean, it's not at all out of the question that these are from that battle. They certainly don't look very new. There's no signs that this is like freshly picked, clean bones. There's no like sinew or stuff attached. The bones look old enough that it probably is from the battle. With a 20, yeah, your gut instinct is that these are old bones. And the way they're kind of arranged at the bottom of the pylon, this is where the bridge is actually slightly broken and at its weakest point, near where two of the slimes emerged from. With your perception check of 20, Lyra, knowing where the slimes emerged, knowing where these are, it looks almost like the bodies maybe were piled up on the bridge. The flesh was consumed, but the bridge collapsed as well at this point, dumping the remains down into the water where either fish or other aquatic creatures have started to consume them before the slimes could get to them. Because you know the slimes dissolve metal. So it looks like these were dropped through before the slimes could get to them.
Before sort of everyone else gets too far ahead of Lyra, she might sort of call out, it's like, hey guys, I know we need to get a wiggle on and get to places and go save Harry and stuff, but I know that dream, you were sort of after a bit of armor, but, it's all the way down there, but no, you guys don't have a giant magnet on you by any chance, do you?
No, I also don't know how comfortable I am about wearing the armor of a bunch of people that were slaughtered, some sort of like graveyard area. I know that the armor I'm wearing technically came from a corpse, but the whole story, the Swift Nerblin was saying, makes this place feel very drab, dark, bad bird do if I were to wear it.
Fair enough. We'll just have to keep an eye out for some slightly different armor. I mean, for Paladin, you're squishier than I am at the moment. That's saying something.
Thank you for wanting to help. You are right on that side. I guess things would be better if I had a bit more of like a knightly style to my combat sword and shield. But I guess this is just my preference. Traditional blade, and I'll pat the large long sword samurai blade.
Could you
More offense rather than defense.
Could you see shield there, Lyra?
I tried to block attacks. Oh, sorry.
So Simon, your camera's not working. Your mic's not working for me. I'm not sure it's me.
No, on my side as well.
Oh, can you guys not hear?
Now?
I can hear him.
The voice is coming through.
I can just hear him.
Framey.
His camera's a bit choppy.
Just give it a quick reload, Si. Sometimes that'll fix it up.
Yeah, no, my objective usually is to try to stop an attack before it hits, and then if it does, I guess, focus on healing. I'm not too much of a knight of Helm or Tyr, other deities that I guess would be more focused on defense. At least that's part of my training. But thank you. Better armor would be much appreciated. But yeah, I don't feel comfortable wearing weird slaughterfest genocide pit armor.
Well, perhaps the Snur Niblin might be able to assist you back in Lindenstone, perhaps.
Maybe. We're also traveling to those Duergar, which know more about the stone giants, and for all their faults, they do have fairly good armaments themselves. Maybe I can rip some from that despot's corpse.
Well, that too. Yeah. Yes. That could work.
Just want to run this one by my. So doesn't want armor from dead bodies, but happy to take it from dead bodies he's made.
I clarify because I did say that even the armor I've got is dead bodies.
Yes.
I'm fine with dead bodies.
Different.
I'm not fine with like weird Native American burial grounds, like a bunch of Duragard that were just completely skin melted Raiders of the Lost Ark. There's definitely ghosts here.
You know that it was the Drow versus Duragard, and I mean Lyra. Judging by the bodies in the water, the way it's been picked apart, you don't think it's anything mystical. It just looks like normal predation. Like,
if I saw a bar of gold in Auschwitz, I would not take the bar of gold.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. This isn't quite the same, but fair enough. I mean, that's a big leap to get from one to the other. But I agree with your statement there.
That's where Bart's mind is at.
This just looks like a battlefield on a bridge that did not go well for the Duragard. Looks like the Drow massively overwhelmed them, and the Duragard suffered heavy losses. That would be the best way to describe it.
Aren't these Duragard, the same guys that were? I mean, okay, not these specific Duragard because they're like over 300 years old and dead, but aren't they the same guys that were literally holding you captive and took your wings?
True. Isn't that more likely, though, for them to haunt me? I don't know how ghosts
I mean, you can hold them back.
When I'm dead, I don't want to die for a while.
You see Goot kind of chuckle a little bit. Ghosts aren't real. Do you believe in ghosts? You guys are weird.
I was a ghost for a while. Well, sort of.
Ghosts aren't
Ghosts
real.
are very real.
Ghosts don't exist. Knockers, though. Knockers
That's what ghosts want
exist.
you
You've
to
got to look
think.
out for knockers. If you hear people lost in the mines, sometimes they knock on the walls. They're real. But ghosts aren't real.
I thought you were talking about different kind of knockers. I was thinking just haunted, floating around.
No. It's like when you hear someone knocking in the mines. This is a true story.
That type of ghost, to be honest.
Nah, these ones are scary. They're not ghosts, they're knockers. It's different. But like if you hear a strange knocking in an underground mine, don't go near it. You run away, because I'll take you.
I see.
Into Threign's ear. Threign obviously isn't scared by this and doesn't jump.
Something else to worry about in the Underdark.
Hey, lad, you don't need to worry about knockers. They're not real. It's a story we tell children to frighten them. No, they're real. My cousin was taken by a knocker. How do you know that? Was anyone around to hear? No, but like he was in a mine by himself, and that's where knockers get you.
I like the name.
Ember, you were asking a question.
Yes, I was just wondering, are there any shields in the water?
Lyra,
You did say that you don't want to wear the armor, but...
Lyra, as you look down into the water, there are indeed not just one, but 2 shields. 2.5, technically. One of the shields has been split. It was more of a wooden shield with banded iron sort of holding it together. That one has actually split as the wood has rotted. You think probably exposure to the water has swollen it and caused it to split. But there's 2 metal shields down there. One of them looks to be extremely well made, beautifully well made, almost elven in design. The other one much more utilitarian. Very, very blocky. The only thing you notice with the elven shield, you can't see the sigil on the front of it. You're currently looking at the back, and it does look like the leather straps. One of the leather straps is broken. But, I mean, nothing that's pretty repairable.
No, Ember. I was mentioning previously as well, my training style from the Ares temples, I guess the same, maybe similar styles that even Niles went through. It was more about evasion and less about protection. I can wield it, but I would then be unable to wield my blade. Samurai Sword, I just was checking, and I think we went over this maybe like session 1. It's more akin to like an odachi, if anyone at home Google that. A sword that is like 3 times the length of a person.
Imagine a 2-handed katana, essentially, is the best way to describe it. Slightly more asymmetrical than a katana, but that's kind of the best way to describe it. More like a bastard sword.
Yeah, these odachis that I'm checking at the moment, like some of them are
Huge.
shortest, about 7 feet long.
Yeah, it's a big weapon.
Primarily used to kill the horses. That was,
yes.
Yeah. any cavalry weapon.
I don't know, other than my back, where the shield would realistically go.
No, that's fair.
You just actually weighing in on this real quick. The armor that the aristocracy wears is also quite lightweight. Heavier armors don't suit the Owlin and the Aarakocra super well. It makes it harder to fly around and keep nimble.
Yes, that is also true. Most of our kind, it was often just different variants of leather and hide.
Interesting.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
When I get my wings back, I can focus more on a special type of armor.
Absolutely.
Alrighty.
Sure, we can make that happen.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Okay. So carry on. Leave the cache of slightly spooky-looking weapons and armor under the water. Leave them where they lie. Very nice.
Hike.
Yeah, Matt.
No, I said hike. Like, yes.
Yeah. Hi.
Hike.
Hi. You must. As you continue on your journey for the next hour or so, trudging through the gloom with the deep gnomes, the Sverniblin, guiding your path from atop Threign's shoulders, there really isn't too much to think about or too much to worry about. The landscape on this side of the Dark Lake is much less fertile. The mushroom forest, the Zerkwood forest that you've left behind, seems to be in a very fecund spot in the Underdark. This next section is much more rocky. The ground itself quite loose, giving way to almost a slightly broken shale kind of texture underfoot, leaving pebbles behind and causing you to kind of slip and stumble anytime you have to head even a little bit uphill. However, as you reach the end of the second hour of marching, you've arrived at the top of a slightly smaller rise. The water of the Dark Lake below you now very, very far, almost out of sight for any of you who don't have dark vision. The pathway ahead leads onto what almost looks like a plateau underground. High above you, you can see the cavern roof, massive stalagmites lowering from the ceiling. As you can see, occasionally drips. Other way around, stalactites lowering from the ceiling. Almost got it. One day.
I always get it wrong.
One day I'll get it right. It's Schrodinger's stalagmite. I'm going to get it wrong every time because it's not possible to get it right the first time. Stalactites.
I always say both and just pretend that they're that way.
Pretend you know.
Covered. Yeah.
Problem is, I've just described this as a massive flat plateau, so I had talked myself into a corner. I had to make a decision. Yes, massive stalactites lowered from the ceiling, but this whole top section is almost perfectly flat and smooth. A massive plateau cutting through a section of the Underdark, leading to a much larger cavern beyond, and possibly a larger section of the Dark Lake. This plateau ridge that you begin walking across seems to join up with a number of other mountain pathways or high pathways through the Underdark. You can see a crossroads only sort of 50, 60 feet ahead as you get to the top of this rise, with a metal signpost dug into the ground. Atop it, you can see a skull with a spike through it, hanging off the edge of this metal sign. Letters scratched in dwarvish runes, very rough dwarvish runes, with arrows pointing in various directions, seem to indicate locations of interest for the Duragar. However, for those of you who don't speak dwarvish, it just looks like garbage. Looks like confusing runes, a mismatch of pictographic runes that you can't understand. I guess I should ask, does anyone speak dwarvish? That would be a negatory.
No.
Cool. As you get to the signpost. What was that, sorry?
Sorry, I actually do speak Dwarvish.
You do speak Dwarvish. Threign.
Hey!
As you look at the sign, you can see that this is very much a almost like a guidepost, like the Goliaths would use, where they'd have a large stone, almost like a menhir jammed into the ground with runic directions written on it to help those who might be lost and to find their way. This is very, very similar. There are 3 main locations marked on here. There is the Deep Mine, which is ahead of you and down, you can see the pathway itself seems to drop off a small rise. You can see tower with a big X next to it, pointing towards the right, and a location that has been scratched out. The runes unreadable now to the naked eye. A large gash almost chiseled through the center of the runes. At the top, someone has graffitied stone giants and drawn an arrow pointing back the way that you've just come, off on a bit of an angle. So not quite the same direction, but behind you, away from where the gnomes are leading you.
Okay, everyone, come round quickly. I've noticed something that no one else obviously noticed.
Oh.
So
What have you got for us, Threign?
So I'm gonna just go through what Owen just said, all the instructions, and so that about sums it up. Something about stone giants here, though. This, and I look at Bart. This could be interesting to you.
I guess so. As he points in the direction that it's from, the Underdark is such a huge place. Can I do a history check to see if, like, in the direction that it points in the huge caverns of the Underdark, I see anything that looks vaguely familiar to my slavery stay or my escape?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a pretty high DC because you weren't brought down this way, but maybe you'd heard it described.
An unnatural 20?
Unnatural 20. I'm going to say that you'd heard this pathway described. You don't know exactly where you are, Bartholomew, but you had heard the Duergar, you'd overheard them talking about the Risen Road, a section of pathways that link various locations in the upper layers of the Underdark to various lower locations. Sometimes when there are dangers in the lower tunnels that block access to mines, the Duergar might need to take these almost like, I guess, like pathways to jump over the danger, to move around whatever danger there might be. Because it's in the Underdark, they can move in 3 dimensions, right? You can move up and down.
Yeah.
This road is normally designed as a longer way to bypass any dangers, specifically in the very long war between the Duergar and the Drow. If the Drow have captured a section of Duergar territory, they might need to use these roads to bypass their old roads and their old pathways. This one looks very unused, and since the stone giants have moved into sections of the Underdark, the dwarves, rather interestingly, have been using a number of the Risen roads a lot less. Maybe you were expecting them to have relied on them more, but the dwarves have actually, and you know that the dwarves are in a sort of a little bit of a trade agreement with some of the stone giants. You're a direct result of one of those trade agreements. But the dwarves haven't really been using the Risen roads as much anymore. This one looks like an abandoned trail.
Okay, and knowing that this one goes down, so what you're saying is this is sort of like a highway bypass connecting the upper dark to the lower dark.
Yeah, and you know that at some point this will go down again very, very quickly, and there'll be a pathway leading back down into the deeper sections of the Underdark. Interestingly, it looks like it's the opposite direction to the deep mine, which does make a little bit of sense, given that when you were first taken to the Duergar mines, they weren't right next to the giant areas. They were a little bit further away. And you didn't take the Risen road to get to the giant locations. That was through one of the deeper tunnels. So, I mean, given these locations, you think the mine is actually... It could even be the mine where you were first working. The stone giant pathway, much more likely to be where the stone giants had you working in their camp.
Okay. I guess I'll really mention sort of that, I guess, recollection that the Tempest Guild has been looking for the stone giants, even though Threign's already read it. Threign, that it may lead back. It's not where I came from when I escaped. I know that much. I'm not sure if that's where you three came from either. And I'll nod on Threign's shoulders to the Swift-Nerblins, because obviously you guys got out as well. But they're the Risen roads, sort of like mega tunnels, highways that would connect different areas that Moradin's or Laudegar's kin and children would use. But you do mention it in my escapings and being in the Underdark these last couple of days, maybe weeks, it's hard to tell. I haven't really seen them being used. It's actually probably one of the ways I managed to get around unseen by some of the dangerous things in the Underdark. I lived by myself thanks to them. I've only managed to stay alive out in the open now because of your group. I used them to get close to the exit that I found all of you at.
Yeah, that road was one of the Risen roads up towards the Purple Worm Tunnel. That was a section of Risen Road.
But they're that they hadn't been being used as often, so maybe the giants have captured the Risen roads. That would probably be a really easy way to find them once we've got Harry back. Actually, I guess your next stop.
You watch as Noose shakes his head from atop Threign's shoulders. No, we've the stone giants are much deeper, lad. The dwarves haven't been using the roads as much as late. We thought this might be a safe pathway. Normally they'd rely on them if there was ever conflict between them and the Drow and they needed to make a quick escape. But recently, I mean, our reports and scouts were coming in saying that the Durgard didn't need to use the roads as much and they were much clearer. So, I mean, the Sforniblin have started to use them a bit more. We figured this would be a safe way, and if we did happen to run into any stray Durgar, I figured you lot would be enough to take them. But it is interesting that they've carved this extra bit. What this bit here, Threign, you said that reads stone giants?
What he just said then, Owen, is that true? Like
pointing to the section that recently graffitied. Someone scratched this hurriedly, and you can just make out that it. I mean,
just making sure so that obviously they didn't get it wrong. Yes, no, this is true. Apparently, this says stone giant this way.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously not part of the sign. Someone's graffitied this later, or more recently. Wondering if...
This crossed out section. Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, this crossed out section, what, we can't really read it, but do you know what was in that direction? Like, or is that pointing back towards where the stone giants were?
No, we've not come this way before. The only reason we've decided to take the Risen Road now is because we're trying to get to the Society of Brilliance as quickly as possible, and this is the only way that we can get there. Well, we can get to our little quick way there. But, no, I don't know what that reads, sorry, lass. Threign, you seem to be pretty good with Dwarvish. My Dwarvish is a bit iffy. Do you want to have a closer look, see if you can make it out?
Yeah, okay. I sort of stretch a little bit, and I get a bit closer and have a bit of a look. Let's see what investigations Threign can unravel with his brilliant academic mind.
His deductive mind, his deductive reasoning. Watch you roll a natural fucking 20 though and be able to read this straight away.
Alright, what am I looking at? What am I rolling?
Investigation. You were correct with your guess.
Okay, it's a -1. 8.
8.
Threign. No.
As you look at the runes, whoever took a chisel to this wanted it to be unreadable. They wanted to erase this from the sign. It is very hard to know what it makes out, but one of the runes looks like it is similar to the Dwarvish rune for dark. And another rune looks like it's the Dwarvish rune, or similar to the Dwarvish rune for like a keep or a care, a castle.
I cannot tell what it says for the most part, but a few of the runes, a couple of them look similar to dark and keep for the runes, but for the most part, whoever did this wanted to make sure that no one would be able to find it.
Still points in the direction, so they were definitely dumb.
Oh no! The arrow's not there. That's been erased. That's been taken off. Yeah. No. It's been removed.
You don't need to read it to know what it's pointing to.
Whoever took a chisel to it wanted this erased, and they've done a damn good job.
Well, I guess I'll ask in case this is a surface world thing leading to another Risen Road, or a lower dark thing, just to the entire group that's here. Does anyone know of a dark keep? A dark castle? Sounds like lichy business,
or a fairy tale?
Yeah, stuff that's in the Underdark.
I mean, what makes it so special? Everything in here is dark.
Exactly.
I don't really understand.
The only dark city that comes to mind is that strange dark city back in Nostea in the sky, but it couldn't be that.
Nocturnus. Well remembered, Niles.
Nocturnus.
Well remembered. Yeah. You watch as the three deep gnomes kind of look at each other. I've rolled a history check for each of them. Strangely enough, it's actually Gobbledy who gets this one, despite having a -2 to history. Noose and I know Noose and Gook I did not roll very well for. Noose, I thought for sure this was going to be Noose telling you this, but you don't think it's referring to the what's it called? Noose, you know all about this. The old care that was like the keep, the large stone keep that was down at the edge of the caldera. What do they call it? The Blackstone Crypt? Blackstone Keep, I think they called it?
I just roll my eyes at that mention.
That probably sounds like it, yes. How intuitive of you.
I think that could be it. I think you might be onto something.
Yeah, the Blackstone Keep. Yeah, you've heard the stories, right? You watch as Noose goes, they're all tales the dwarves tell of the old heartland. It's not real. The Blackstone Keep doesn't exist.
Similar tales to Knockers? Okay, what are the tales?
There was a castle ruled over by the Durgar. It was the seat of their Low King, they used to call him. Styled after the Low King of the mountain dwarfs. Right? Gobbledy? Yeah. You're not giving it the flair though. So, right. When the Low Kings fought, right, when the dwarf fought against dwarf, and the hill dwarves had already been exiled by this point, the Durgar thought that the mountain dwarves were they'd seen too much sunlight, right? They'd become enlightened and therefore lost their way. That only a real dwarf, they are endarkened. They never see sunlight. Sunlight pollutes the mind and makes people do batshit crazy things. So the Low Kings fought, right? There was a succession war, all sorts of crazy stuff. And the Durgar, this is what the Durgar say they came from, but they came down into the deep dark, and here they found the real gods of the dwarves, voices in the dark. And the Blackstone Keep was where the first Durgar Low King made his home. But something happened, and they split up, and the clans fell apart. I think these sons all fought for the throne or something, and it all kind of fell apart. But like, there's a story. Like, how did you not pick this up? Noose, this is a classic tale. I mean, not for Sverniblin. We think this is garbage, but Durgar believe this codswallop. Some of them do anyway.
What is it that you believe in then?
Me?
Yeah.
I believe in doing a little bit of hard work and doing a lot of relaxing.
Let's walk and talk. This is not important.
I assume you're still walking at this point. I assume that.
I
I haven't assumed you've just stopped and staring at this sign.
Well, that's the thing, because Threign was still reading us, so I thought we were starting to hear like his personal life story about his philosophies. I'm like, this is not important. Harry is still taken.
Yeah, I imagine we're walking and talking. At this point,
I don't need to know how you're going.
Oh, and it especially keeps in line with Threign and Bart pushing the party along.
Yeah.
Noose sort of still directing you onto the pathway towards the tower. As you make your way down the Risen Road, heading towards your right.
In that case, I'm happy to hear how he is as a person.
Yeah, no, I mean, I believe in doing a little bit of hard work and doing a lot of relaxation. Is that what you're sort of referring to, or do you mean like gods and stuff?
Oh, well, I was just curious as to know what the Sverniblin believe in. If you have any gods or
we got gods. We got mostly trickster gods. I mean, you sort of have to be a bit of a trickster god if you want to appease the Sverniblin. But I mean, not anything you surface folk would be that interested in.
And just on that quick topic, you guys legitimately needed help from the Tempest Guild?
Yeah.
Insight check? if they worship trickster gods?
Oh, fair. Yeah. Go for an insight check. I mean,
point.
They were dying when you guys found them. That's a shit joke. Like, that trick could have backfired in a lot of different ways. It's a high-stakes prank, I'll be honest. Like,
if they worship
commitment to the bit.
Exactly. If they worship Loki-esque gods, I'm not going to...
That's Australian B-time radio prank levels of commitment. 10. But it's hard to say. I mean, Gobbledy does have this kind of, like, laissez-faire attitude, this very laconic style to him. Like, maybe this was all a trick, but then
put my hand on my blade.
You've seen like Gook and Noose be pretty legit. They were enslaved with you. You did see them like struggling, losing friends like during the process of the mining that you were being forced to do. If it was a joke, it was a really, really long one that has cost them a lot.
This con, just doing it in my mind, maybe.
It is. It's like at this point with a 10, you're like, oh, it's unlikely, but I'm not discounting it completely. Yeah, you know, I'm like,
we're all in on it too.
Yeah, exactly. That rock, that's the sign, quick. And then they pull some party poppers over Bart and go, gotcha. That was it. We led you here and popped some party poppers in your face. Joke complete. I'm pleased the partial genocide of our people was worth it. Just punched my microphone. Obviously, they don't say that.
When he mentions the jokes to gods and whatnot, just finding a moment to use this one whenever I can, every session. I will sort of chat up with Niles that I'm interested to learn about their culture, the actual names of these jokes to gods, and then maybe even talk about our, I guess, thoughts due to the fact that our people don't have gods. Maybe deities and a bit more like agnostic, like knowing there's stuff out there, but not really having anything for ourselves, and our own personal beliefs. Sort of preach a little bit like Dad did, I guess, back in the day. And just use my inspiring leader again to sort of just talk philosophy, try to give everyone some nice juicy 9-10 HP.
I probably join you with that. Sort of give you a little bit more, give a bit more context and insight where I can, based on my own experiences.
You and me do like a partner TED talk about the heirs to leprosy.
Absolutely.
As Gobbledy's kind of like talking this shit about the gods, you watch as Gook puts a hand on his shoulder and goes, not all of us treat the gods with such little respect. Some of us are a bit more reverent of the gods. I myself, I was brought up by the priests and priestesses of Caledorian Smoothhands, so I worship as my adopted parents did.
It's okay. You can say whatever you want to say. Really, there's only really one true god, so it's okay.
We heard that some surface folk believe in this. A bit delusional, though, when you can actually see the gods doing stuff, right?
It's only the one god, really, though, isn't it?
What are the rest of them, then?
Glorified heroes.
Hey, you're going to be popular at the temple that you guys take him to. You might want to leave him outside or distract him with something if you have to go into a holy site. I've heard priests get irate when people suggest that their gods aren't as powerful as other gods. To flat out say that all gods aren't gods except for one of them. You're going to be fun at parties, mate.
You did not grow up where I grew up. That's all I'm going to say.
Aye, that's true. Take a right here, lad, as he points to
Threign is
Bartholomew.
already pretty fun.
Alrighty. As you guys, Noose points out a little turn off the pathway, seeming to just lead into a bunch of rocky, open terrain, completely off the pathway that's been created here. We're going to jump over to Harry really quickly. Catch up with the rest of you guys shortly.
Sorry to cut in, Owen.
Yeah.
After the fight with the Drow, did we ever have a long rest or anything? I haven't really changed my character sheet.
No, not since the ambush. You haven't had a long rest.
Okay. Cool. Oh, no short rest?
Haven't had a short rest either. You guys have been on the
Easy
move.
done then. Yep, no problem. Just wanted to check in.
Has Harry had a short rest?
Harry has had a short rest. We discussed this last session. You asked this last session, and the answer was yes, Harry had a short rest.
Oh, cheating a little bit because I'm riding a horse. Can Bart have a short rest?
Are you spending a lot of your time actively looking out for danger, like leading the Ferev, navigating dangerous terrain? It might be a bit of a tough rest then, shall we say. Harry, my boy, we left off last session as you and the Drow were also traveling along a stony ridge rising above the borders of the mushroom forest. Over towards your left, you were able to see a very, very, almost like organically carved, very like smooth and angular castle, or keep, I should say, more like a keep or a watchtower, carved into the wall of the cavern, which the Drow seemed to indicate belonged to Darmerian Drow, and they were going to give it a bit of a wide berth. You also had just sensed the location of your rapier, which was a little bit behind you on one of the drow that was sort of keeping pace 1 or 2 back at the rear of this little party. And you'd also just seen, I think it was a hook horror devouring a deep Roth down at the edges of the lower chamber below this ridge where you're currently walking. What would you like to be doing, Harry? I think we left off as you said you were going to try and sort of keep an eye out for any opportunities to act, opportunities to just keeping an eye out, I think is what you said last time.
I'll make small talk with either the head honcho or some of the soldiers around me.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna get you to make me. Let's call this a persuasion check to see how engaging you are, and then I'm gonna base their responses to you on this. So I'll also then get you to ask your questions as if that roll was an accurate reflection.
Yeah, I missed what you asked me to roll for it. It cut out.
Persuasion, please.
16.
16. Okay. I mean, Harry, you are a pretty charismatic bunny. And as you have not tried to escape, as you've not made any aggressive moves, you do have a bit of luck engaging the drow in conversation. The leader of the group, the drow in the full chitin armor, seems determined not to talk too much to you. Perhaps maybe realizing that she had maybe given a little bit away during your last conversation. But the other drow, the guards who are traveling with you, they don't seem to realize this. And they're happy to kind of have a little bit of a chat. Is there anything you'd be asking them in particular?
My hands are still bound, right? But I'm walking.
Hands are bound. Your legs are no longer hog-tied to your hands, but there is a length of rope between your legs that's sort of tying your ankles together a little bit. You can't do your full step, and you suspect it's probably to stop you trying to run, because it'll keep you walking at a pretty slow pace.
Yep. So, yeah, you guys, you were hanging around the grove for a while, me?
Yes, we've been away from home for some time. Occasionally we get reinforcements, but for the most part we have just been alone, tracking this criminal.
So why couldn't you go into the grove?
The Myconids. How much do you know? Sorry, I've gone Scottish again because of fucking noose. I can't get that voice out of my head. Let me go back to the Drow voice. How much do you know of Myconids? They can be really dangerous once roused, and this circle, while damaged, while decaying, still would have been a formidable challenge for us. And if we were to try and approach silently, the rapport spores would have revealed our location immediately to the Myconids. You cannot hide your mind while inside the circle. So we just had to wait, either for the circle to fall or for Zaylin to emerge.
So Zaylin was alright as far as the Myconids could read her mind.
The spores don't allow you to fully read a mind, but they do reveal it, at least the surface thoughts of one. If we were to move into the grove, the Myconids would have detected our presence immediately, like they did with Zaylin when she first approached. I'm not sure what she offered them, what deal she made, but they did offer her sanctuary.
You got kids back home?
The male drow sort of like looks at you a bit sharply and then says nothing. Next to him, one of the other female guards laughs and goes, "He wishes, as if any female drow would sully themselves with the likes of a guard, a male guard at that. I'm not a guard, I'm a member of an elite Shadowblade. You're a male. You're useless. You're here to pad out numbers, cannon fodder if we get bored or hungry.
If it makes you feel any better, you're above the pecking order above me."
Aww.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you watch as the male guard behind you kind of like nods a little bit at that. The female guard, she laughs. The female Shadowblade, she kind of laughs that a little bit and goes, "That's right. You can console yourself with being better than this abomination, this furry, humanoid-speaking male creature walking around in clothes. Well done.
How'd you know I was a male?
Your voice and your arrogance. Dead giveaway.
Fair enough. Each of their own. Yeah. No, apart from that, he's just making small talk, just trying to suss out, trying to build a bit of, anything, relationship. So that they might feel less bad about having rampant season later on if they need to.
Do you want to also roll me an insight check, Harry, as your journey carries on?
14.
You will not see cannibalistic female drow. The drow do not partake of cannibalism. It's more if there was anything that was trying to attack the drow, they'd use the males as the front line and have them be eaten first. 14, Harry. Definitely there is a pecking order here. Even though they are all shadow blades, even though they all seem to be kitted out the same, seem to be of similar rank as far as you can tell, the males are nowhere near as high in the pecking order as the females. The women in the Shadowblade group are in charge of all of the men here. No matter what the situation, station, it is a clear pecking order. But all of them defer to the woman in the chitinous armor. Every single one. She seems to be someone important, someone very important. At least to these drow. More so than you would have expected. It almost looks like... What's the equivalent for Harry? Harry, you know in your merchant guilds, when a whale comes in, lots of money, time to spend, big cart ready to be filled, and everyone wants to please that person and keep them happy, get them what they want? Not a real whale, like a big spender, sorry. It's like that. All of them seem to want to keep her happy, treat her almost a little bit like royalty.
Harry just keeps walking with them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Harry. Another hour passes, and then another. Without breaks, without stops. The poison, while you have fully recovered from it, with your natural 20, the walking, you haven't really had a proper rest in a long time now, and it is starting to affect you, this constant movement. Could I get you to please roll me a Constitution saving throw? Just because it has been a number of hours since you had a good sleep.
That's a nat 1.
Nat 1, Harry. That's a tree.
That's how I got knocked down by the poison.
Oh,
Harry.
no.
You are getting exhausted. The poison, that sleep you had while under the effect of the poison, it hasn't rejuvenated you. It was not restful. And whatever your body had to do to throw it off has taken a lot out of you. You suffer 1 point of exhaustion, and you are really struggling.
And what's 1 point of exhaustion mean?
You have disadvantage on, I think it's attack rolls and ability checks with 1 point of exhaustion. Let me just double check, but I'm pretty certain that's what it is off the top of my head. There's 6 levels, and the 6th level you die.
Well, disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks is...
Sorry, it's just ability checks. It's just ability checks. It's 3 when you get disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws. So it's just ability checks at the moment. Your speed is halved if you take another one.
You can add it as a condition.
Condition on D&D
your
Beyond.
Beyond sheet as well. Yeah.
Take a condition. That sounds like an avatar.
It is marking a condition. I need you to mark a condition, Dave. Are you frightened? Are you empowered?
So it's top right underneath your HP on the character sheet.
Oh, conditions.
Condition.
Here we go, buddy. Yeah, so it's just disadvantage on ability checks.
Exhaustion's all the way at the bottom. There you go. Nice.
He's got it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Harry is just gonna try and just. Oh, what can he do? Well, he can't do much. He just has to keep walking and push through.
I mean, there's a lot you could do, but I'm pleased to hear that you're kind of taking a more thoughtful and measured approach.
Not gonna do a 1v7. What he does want to do.
That's how we lost Grinner in Curse of Strahd. No spoilers.
Can you feel if there's anything on him, like any of his equipment, any or like his, I don't know, whatever even was in his bag? Like he had some
So your bag has been taken from you. Your backpack has been taken from you. So whatever you had in your backpack does seem to not be with you at the moment. But in terms of what's in your pockets, your hands are tied behind your back. You can't reach into feel, but you can kind of see occasionally things bumping up against your pockets. It's hard to know exactly what's in there. There is a little bit of weight still in the breast pocket of your leather armor. Maybe there's still some gold tucked away there. Maybe there's still some other items, but it's hard to know for sure.
When I move my hips, so if I
you can feel a bit of weight
like
in some of your
sideways.
pockets.
So there's a chance that my thieves' tools could still be in my back.
There is a chance your
pocket-
thieves'
back
tools could still be in there, but Harry, if you were going to tie someone up and keep them prisoner, would you leave them with a whole bunch of lockpicking tools and little small knives? And
Depends how much I think I'm better than them.
how much better than do you think you are?
No, they think they're much better than me.
They do.
Yeah, so
That's true.
They might.
do. They might.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Harry's just gonna just try to keep just chatting with them in a friendly way. He's using his merchant charms,
Perfect.
but he's also not trying to hide the fact that he's getting a bit tired.
Brilliant.
He's gonna show that. So
Perfect. Harry,
you guys want to get just take a bit of a rest, or are we just gonna keep going, or?
you watch as for the first time since your long conversation with her, the lady in the chitin armor spins around, looks at you and goes, "Are you feeling weak, Rabbit?"
You shot me with the poison bolt, but yeah, a bit, but I don't want to slow you down. So, the disc was nice.
Don't worry, you will not slow us down, and there is no need for the disc right now. We do not need to waste our magical energy while you are conscious. You will walk at the same pace you have been walking.
Yes, I will. I will walk at the same pace that we've been walking.
Good. And if you complain again, we will not speak of it. You will know our displeasure.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Then you continue on.
Harry puts his head down and just walks.
Just walks. Harry, after another hour of walking, when you feel like your legs are going to give out, the road that they've taken finally splits off and heads in a different direction. This time leading up a little bit higher and then beginning to drop down into what almost looks like a valley. In the very center of the valley, far, far in the distance, you can see an enormous tower rising from the stone, light spilling from the windows, and growing just off a little bit of the ways away from it, maybe 100, 200 feet away, you can see a small tree. White bark, blue glowing leaves, luminescent in the darkness. Let's jump back with the rest of the party, because Harry's taking the long way around. The Drow don't know about this for Niblin's secret route. As the rest of you continue on for another 45 minutes of walking, Noose once again directs you over country, leading you through a craggy area of rocky terrain before suddenly getting you to stop in front of a sheer stone wall, the stone wall of the cavern rising up in front of you. Right, we're here. Threign, if you could help me down.
Ooh. Yes, no problem. I just sort of lower myself down, let him climb off.
All three gnomes jump off, and Noose rushes up and begins, placing his hand against the wall, listening, tapping every so often. A little bit over here, a little bit that way. Here we are. And you watch as he makes a sort of like a twisting gesture with his hand and then pushes in, and a section of the rock just moves with his hand, depressing inwards. With the sound of stone grinding against stone, you watch as a tunnel slowly begins to open in the rock face, a false wall moving back and then lowering down, mechanisms below twisting and turning it. Great.
Is this a deep gnome tunnel?
Yep. This is the deep gnome tunnel.
Okay, so...
You're pretty big, aren't you? It might be a bit of a squeeze. You and the
cool,
owl, actually. Yeah. The big white owl. You're pretty big too. You lot are going to have to hunker down.
Great. I love to be in tight spaces.
It's only a very...
At all, are you, Threign?
What was that, sorry?
You're not claustrophobic at all, are you, Threign?
We're about to find out, I guess. I have never really put myself in anything like this before.
It's only a short crawl. maybe 10, 15 minutes through this section, and then it'll open up to like maybe a foot or two larger. And then we'll climb into some carts. We're not all going to fit in a cart. We might have to sort of... you're a cart by yourself, as he points to you, Threign. But we'll get to that when we get there.
I guess this is lucky that Kongchi is not a physical manifestation of this plane.
I know. I've seen you summon the creature out of nothing. I figured it was magical. Otherwise, you'd be leaving it behind.
Do you mind if I have that orb of yours? Threign may be unsure, but I certainly know that I definitely don't like tight spaces and may have, I guess, claustrophobia after what we went through. I'm surprised you three are so comfortable, but I guess living down here, that might be why. I don't like the idea of being
this is nothing.
Restrained.
Just quick question for us, just to jog my memory. I'm not too sure. Do we all know that Harry's been taken by the Drow's prisoner?
Yeah. You guys use the sending stones to find out. Yeah, and you're currently en route to. You're currently en route to set up an ambush to try and get him back.
Okay, that would that's going to dictate how Threign acts a bit more. It's going to take a deep breath and go, well, we've got to find the rabbits quick, so let's go. And I just go in, and I just start like going. I go in first, and I just make my way through as quick as I can.
As you go to push in first, Gobbledy rushes up behind you, grabs onto your sort of like large bear cloak, goes, no. Probably best if you let one of us go, mate. There's all sorts of traps and things you'll need to activate. I probably best if you let us go in front. Hey, we can disable the gnome traps.
As he does that, I grab him on his head. I grab him by the head and lift him up to my face. You be quick then, little one. Because one of my friends, one that I consider family now, is in danger, so we need to hurry.
Yeah, we'll go as quick as we can. But, I mean, also, if it takes me a little bit longer and you don't get stabbed with spikes, you're welcome. And with that, Gobbledy...
I drop him back down and I pat him on the head. I didn't do that as threatening, just more to actually get him to my level to talk.
With that, Gobbledy rushes in front, pulling out what looks like a little bent piece of metal. Bartholomew, you suddenly think you have a bit of an inkling as to how they might have escaped previously. Given Gobbledy suddenly has this little like bent piece of metal resembling almost like a set of lockpicks, and as he scrambles in front, the other deep gnomes crawl in behind him, and then I'm going to assume all of you follow. The tunnel.
Let's go in. Come on, everyone, let's go. I just dive in.
Dive in is correct. The tunnel is tight and narrow, Threign. As it presses up against your shoulders, you have to really push your way through. Your axe has to come off your back, including probably your cloak as well, your large bearskin cloak. You have to carry it in front of you, pushing it ahead of you while you crawl.
I'll wrap my axe in the cloak so I don't cut myself on doing it.
Perfect. And probably the same for you, Bartholomew, as well. Your sword is, I mean, you can't really have it strapped to your waist for this bit. You have to kind of push it in front, moving it on the stone to keep it in front of you. The rest of you, Ember, you're pretty big too. Not as heavily armored as Threign, and I mean, you have a quarterstaff, I think, don't you, rather than anything else? Quarterstaff, you just push.
I do, but I don't really use it that often, so...
Just throw it over the side of it.
And then, go through.
Just yeet it off the side. But Lyra and Mars, being a bit smaller?
Yeah. Niles looks at the spear that got corroded previously and just kind of goes, and just like kind of places it off to the side, realizing it's probably no good anymore.
Okay.
And then just goes in on it without anything else.
Perfect. The crawl through the tunnel.
Other than the shuriken.
Other than the shurikens, yeah. The crawl through the tunnel, true to the gnome's word, takes about 15-20 minutes. It is tight. It is cramped. At moments, you have to stop and pause while the gnomes disable traps. At one point, they actually prevent you going down the pathway as it is, turn what looks like a piece of stone wall, and then just suddenly begin going back a little bit and then go forward, claiming that they need to like activate the pressure plates the right way. I mean, clearly there's some method to this madness. There are no traps that are triggered, but you get the distinct impression that if the gnomes weren't with you, this would be a lot more dangerous for the lot of you. Eventually, though, the tunnel does begin to open up and actually opens into a carved out hollow section. You can see that this was mined maybe even as recently as a couple of years ago. There are still some pickaxes abandoned on the sides, and the cave walls still show signs of being broken away and chipped away. a minecart track has been set up. Lengths of this very, very rough iron palings, along with what look like zirkwood beams, create this long winding track that disappears into the gloom in front of you. There are 3 minecarts set up along the side, as well as one that is on its side, partly broken at the back. There's no rear covering, but it seems to be in the process of being repaired before being partly abandoned. As the gnomes sort of stand up and stretch their legs, stretch their backs, the roof here is roughly about sort of 7 feet tall. It is a bit of a squeeze even for the tall folk among you. The gnomes, the whole time you were crawling through this tunnel, merely stooped their heads once every so often, having no real troubles at all. Now that you're in this open section, you can see them really stretching out, making a bit of a show of being like in this now wider section. As Noose rushes over and checks the minecarts for damage, Gook sort of looks around and goes, "Oh, I've not been in this section of the tunnels before. And can I just say as well, this is a great honor for you guys. The gnomes haven't really revealed these secret tunnels to any like non-gnomes before, so I guess like try and keep it to yourselves would be what I'd say."
We can keep a secret.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll be passing through here anytime soon after the fact. Like as Niles says, like crouched, like pretty like hunched over still.
Can I tell you guys a secret? These are everywhere. We've been building them for a long time, ever since we lost the other forts, the outlying forts. I mean, we're pretty exposed as a people in the Underdark. I mean, the Duergar, the Drow, the Dalmirian Drow aren't that bad, but the Lolth Drow are fucking nightmarish. And so the only way for us to get around safely is with these tunnels and with these tracks. We've built a lot of them, but it's a closely guarded secret. And the gnomes of Blindenstone, without these, we're gone. So please keep it to yourselves. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. And this is how we're going to get...
I swear on my life.
Wow, that's perfect. I wasn't going to ask you to swear on your life, but thank you for taking it seriously. But yeah, I mean, this is how we get around so quickly. These tunnels stretch in a lot of different directions, and there's ways that we can get these minecarts moving a bit quicker. Have you guys ever heard of like aggregate stone before? It's like a type of crystal that you get down here. It's often made up of lots of other different types of crystalline, but like the important thing is, right, that when they form, there's like air that gets compressed inside of them, and when you unleash that pressure all at once, it pushes things really, really quickly. We've been growing them. So nothing to
do with agriculture?
Nothing to do with agriculture. Aggregate stone. But like it's all different types of anything that's like grown crystals that grow kind of together. If you grow certain crystals in certain ways, you can like trap the air within them. And when you
it kind of is like agriculture because you're growing the crystals.
I guess. I mean, I don't really know what agriculture is. I kind of just went along with it. But like we use like mycoculture. Is that what you're talking about? Like, because like growing mushrooms. I guess that's kind of, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Similar in a way.
Yeah. Well, then I guess it's like agriculture. Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty quick though, and they can sometimes make like loud echoes. That story with the knockers. I mean, sometimes it's knockers. Sometimes it's the aggregate stones breaking, the aggregate crystals breaking. But it could be knockers. But it also could be us in our tunnels. So we kind of spread that story to like make people think that we're not using like minecarts in here.
Or it could be like anything in the Underdark. It's like, you know, the purple worm, the slimes.
Nah, they don't have hands to knock.
creepers.
Nah, they don't have hands to knock. How would they knock?
That's a good point. You've convinced me.
That was easy. While Gook is talking to you, you can see Noose and Gobbledy have flipped over one of the minecarts. Gobbledy looking at the back bit that's been broken off and shaking his head as Noose sort of mutters to himself. They turn back and you can see Noose is a little bit sort of concerned. Hey, this one's broken. The back section's missing. We're going to have to be really careful with this. When they move quickly, I mean, you got to be careful not to fall out. And there's nothing to put the aggregate in to make it move quicker. we might have to strap this to the front of another cart, which comes with its own share of difficulties. Who's feeling really brave? Who's the most sturdy out of the lot of you? Who's really like brave and sturdy?
I like look at Threign, like
Lyra just looks like
I just step ahead. I don't even register anyone else. I just walk forward.
Great.
oh, there he is. There he goes.
Oh, no, but you've been carrying us. If something were to happen, we'd have to walk. I'm sure it'd be fine. We'll put you in the front. Here, so you get in this cart. Actually, you're strong. Could you pick this up and put these on the tracks? I want you to put these two, this one that's broken in front of this one that's not broken, and if you can like keep them together, we're going to use some rope to bind them, and then
No, that's fine. No issues at all. I lift it with my Goliath strength.
Yeah, it's
My
easy to
Goliath,
lift.
the carrying capacity is like doubled or something. I don't know how it works, but I can lift things very well.
These minecarts are mainly constructed out of wood. The drive shaft, axles, and chassis at the bottom is made of metal, but the sides are wood banded with iron. And as you lower the minecarts on and they begin to bind them together, you watch as Noose quickly nails in a few planks to bind these two minecarts together. Gestures for you to get in the front as the rest of the gnomes climb into the back. Look around and go, there's probably room for one more in this one. Oh, wait, we should probably put a gnome per cart. Okay, I'll go with this lot. Gobbledy, you go in the next cart. Noose in the next cart. And is that all of us? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all of us. So I can fit 2 people in the front with me and Threign. And then maybe Bartholomew, you're a big fucker. And Ember, you're a big fucker. Maybe you take a cart each with one of the gnomes. So maybe Lyra and Niles, you want to come squish up with me, and that way you can keep Threign calm when we start to pick up speed.
Sounds good.
Will Tim fit in Lyra's lap?
Oh shit, Tim's a Darrow.
Can we check him in?
She balls him up really small.
Cart.
Ember and a gnome, Bart and a gnome. I'm gonna say Tim might fit the join between Threin's cart and your cart. If Tim was to like drape himself across it, like half in each cart, that would kind of work actually.
You down for this, Tim?
As Tim nods.
Plus, you can try and keep the carts together if anything went wrong.
You watch as one of Tim's fingers falls off.
A girl can dream.
he does like a thumbs up, and you watch as the thumb slowly falls back and a little mushroom sprouts out. Do we have to bring the zombie?
I've got 5 attached to him.
He can control ropers.
He can control ropers.
Yeah.
I've never heard of zombies being able to do that.
When he was alive, maybe.
Oh, he used to be able to.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's a lot less useful. Like, I mean, I used to be, when I was a young gnome, I used to be able to do a backflip, but I can't do that anymore.
Well, we learn things every day, and I'll get in my cart with Ember.
Gook will jump in. Oh, no, you and Ember in separate carts. Gook jumps in with you, but Gobbledy jumps in with you, Ember. Because Bart, you'd had a bit of a chat with Gook, and the two of you kind of bonded over the jewelry that you were working on, the new holy symbol. Gobbledy, I think Gobbledy sort of shares a bit of the same attitudes as you, Ember. It makes sense that you two have been in a cart together, having a bit of a laugh. With that, you watch as each of the gnomes reaches down into a little compartment in the carts, a small chest at the very back, and pulls out this clump of what looks almost like a greyish crystal mass with flecks of like purples and greens and blues in it. But you can see that the stone that joins these crystals together is almost bulging. It almost looks like it's grown around the crystals, forming these like almost, I guess the best way to describe it is like cloud-like shapes of concrete surrounding the gemstones. And as they place them into the backs of the carts, these small metal casings, each of the gnomes then slowly and gingerly pulls out a metal pole with a spike, covers their ears, and then does a countdown. Ready? 1, 2,
Lyra covers their ears.
3, and then
No, it's covered.
in sync.
It is.
Perfect. All of them smash down on the stones. As they do, the stones immediately shatter, sending the minecarts hurtling forward at a colossal rate of speed.
Whoa!
There is also a boom explosion of thunderous noise as they go off that with 3 of them going off at once. It's a boom, boom, boom. As you shoot through the tunnels. Threign having to like crouch down as the roof drops to like 4 feet high at some points, and Threign, you're kind of sitting in this cart looking out over the edge.
I will say this though for everyone. I am just laughing. I'm enjoying this. He's an adrenaline junkie, really. He's just booming laughter going throughout the chamber. Everyone else can just hear just booming throughout the through the tunnels as he's just loving this probably way too much.
Fantastic.
With the sound of a bellowed, beating laugh, this feels like some sort of like horror Disney ride to Bart.
Dead men tell no tales. As you begin shooting along.
Niles tries really hard to like go into a meditative state, but deep down he's freaking out. He's like, it's okay, it's fine.
There's no lights on these carts, and as you plunge into the blackness of the tunnels, there's no way to see. You really, even those with dark vision, you can only see a few feet in front of you, 10, 20 feet, and it just looks like stone walls crushing in from all sides. The cart path, this railway track, appearing in front of you. At any moment, there could be a broken paling or a missing bit of metal, and you would go careening into a nearby wall. But the gnomes have done their job well, and this pathway, despite being old, is well maintained. This section being actually fairly new, I should say, not that old at all. As the minecarts hurtle along the track, speeding through, Threign, your cart, with Ember and Lyra behind and Noose in front, begins to vibrate worryingly as the carts, one slightly ahead of the other, begin transmitting a lot of the bumpy forces through that center point. Tim, on top, you watch as Tim begins to shake violently, and you hear this from Tim, who's currently draped between the 2 carts. As it begins to grow more and more violent, the shaking getting worse and worse.
With
Lyra?
the shaking getting worse, when she noticed that, could she try and like sort of grab Tim by the shoulder, see if Threign can sort of turn around, grab Tim by the other, and just pull him into our laps? Like, I don't know if he's going to fit, but just so he's
Do
not
we need to slow down? Do we need to slow down our cart?
Do you ask that of Noose?
I mean, like, just from what I'm judging there, are we the ones pulling ahead?
So your carts are joined together. It's the fact that it's 2 carts running over this track that was only ever designed for 1 cart together. And so the bumpy sections, the forces are being transmitted backwards and forwards through the cart at the different chassis. And so there's no shock absorption happening anymore because your carts are basically welded together. It's like welding 2 cars together and trying to drive over a bumpy road. It's really not going super well as the forces are transmitted back and forwards every time you go over something slightly uneven.
Okay, I'll say to I'm not sure which name I have with me.
Noose, you got Noose.
I got look at Noose. Do we need to slow down? Is this too dangerous for the carts? What do you think?
Okay. No, I think this is going really well. As he starts to like get jostled along. And then as the forces get worse and worse and worse, he goes, I'm not so sure actually. That's not sounding good, is it?
Now, I don't know how this would work. This is probably out of the realms of like D&D rules.
Ali's got an idea. Ali's got an idea.
I was just going to say, before you try and slow down the cart, can I use, between the endless abusable water that she's got on her hip and the shape abuse water spell, can she make a like shock absorber ball of water that just sort of sits between the 2 carts to sort of try and absorb some of that impact?
Ooh, I thought you were going to ask if you could use ice, at which point I was going to reveal that ice has 0 compressive strength. But using water has a lot of compressive strength.
Yeah.
Can you roll me a spellcasting check? So just as if you're doing a spell attack, so just a d20 plus your spellcasting modifier. This is interesting. I like this. This is really clever use of...
Great.
13's okay.
13?
As you create this ball of water, holding it in place with shape water, where are you trying to position it to absorb the shock? Or to at least absorb some of the forces?
So I'm assuming sort of the carts are attached, like at the base of the cart, just above the wheels between the 2 of them. So probably trying to encircle that particular connection point itself. So sort of like if there's sort of like a little bit of a joint in, like, you know, sort of try and get the water in there as well, like just to sort of like minimize like the full-on sharp contact.
Okay. Nice. Threign, what was your idea?
So I don't know how this is going to work, to be honest, but so I have my Strike of the Giants Frost Strike. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to smack the cart because I'll just ruin it. But what I was thinking is just slowly letting it leach into the wheels or something. I'm not sure exactly, but basically, when I do hit something with this, it reduces their speed to 0 until the start of your next turn. So I was thinking, if I use a charge of this now and just slowly do it, it could potentially slow us down. I don't know how that would work, though.
I think it's immediate stop to 0.
The key word to me is reduces speed to 0.
Well, no, that's what I was. That's what I wanted to ask.
Because so, Threign, do you want to make me just a flat intelligence check?
So what I should say is,
Instantly.
obviously,
Because
I'm not.
at once.
I'm
Hey,
not
whoa,
saying
whoa.
I'm gonna
Threign
do
might not
0
know about
immediately.
momentum. Threign might not know about momentum. It's okay. Let's find out.
I was just hoping for a slow leech. That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah. Do you want to make me an intelligence check? Just a flat intelligence check. Let's see what Threign can kind of figure out. That's a natural 1 for 0. Threign, 100%.
I'm in my cart.
100% this will work.
no.
This will work. No. You guys are behind them. You don't understand how bad this is for all of you. No, Threign, it'll definitely work. No drama. If you just, you don't even need to do it slowly. Just Strike of the Giants. You'll just slow it down. No problems.
Fuck.
I don't think he's. I know I rolled it.
Is this how you expected to TPK the party, Owen?
Me?
Harry's
Hey.
actually the lone survivor. What a twist!
Physics is a bitch. It's not me.
Well,
Harry somehow survives.
No, the crash is so bad. One of the carts like bursts through the cavern wall and crushes Harry in the far distance.
well, I didn't intend for it to be like that.
Let me just quickly read the frost track.
No,
just wanna read it.
I know that's what I mean. Like it was going outside the rules. I was hoping
Yeah.
to do it as like a leech thing to slow it down, not to
Yeah,
like.
I just want to
I'm not
read it really
hitting it.
specifically to see what it
I
what it
guess
says
I was probably asking
specifically.
more for specifics first before I even attempt
Yeah.
anything like that. Because I
Okay,
didn't
it does
realize
say target, not creature. So
potential.
target, this would technically apply to the cart. With a melee weapon attack, target takes an extra 1d6 cold damage. If it's a creature, it's okay. If it's a creature, it must succeed on a check.
creature.
Or okay, so Threign, you think 100% like this will slow it down and stop it. If you can cover the cart in ice, this will work. You can slow it down. With a natural 1, you're like, yeah, this is brilliant. How could this possibly go wrong? This is genius.
Okay, I'm gonna try and leach some of the ice into it.
Threign, as you sort of bring down your axe, not intending to damage the cart, but like you have to sort of like you have to give a point for the frost to channel through. So you sort of like chip the axe into the bottom of the mine cart and begin focusing. Very like God of War, right? Where Kratos like channels the ice through the Leviathan axe. You sort of focus the ice growing around the edge of your blade. I'm going to get you to roll me 1d6 cold damage, please.
Okay. So obviously, like, yeah, this
I just wanna see how
be an
much
immediate
ice.
effect.
Is that 6? It's maximum
Yeah,
damage.
6.
Threign.
Wow.
You watch as the wood around your feet begins to crack as the ice immediately begins growing through, shattering the wood and binding itself around the metal of the chassis and axles. Could I get you to roll me a D100, please, Threign?
Oh no.
All right.
Oh dear.
83.
Ember, you
Okay.
need to score that shit now.
Ember. I mean, you watch as Lyra water bends this ball of water and very gently places it in the middle. Threign sort of looks down, pulls out his axe, looks at his axe, and then goes, slams it into the bottom of the cart, and ice begins to spread out. The
Well, I didn't
cart.
really mean to slam it though, admittedly.
No, gently. Like you have to like push it into the wood to sort of channel the ice. But for comedic purposes, I was describing it as like Threign attacks the cart with his axe. What do we say? Threign gently bonks the cart with his axe, and then an explosion of ice shoots through it as the ice begins growing down, pushing through the axle and down towards the wheels. it does immediately begin to lock the wheels up. However, this does mean that the wheels are no longer rolling and they're now sliding on a layer of ice. The cart at the front, no longer properly locked onto the track, is no longer as bumpy. But it is now no longer as stable. And as the speed at which you're traveling has not really slowed that much, part of this journey being downhill and then back uphill again, the cart that Threign's in begins to dangerously tip a little bit. Ember and Lyra, the cart you're in, going with it. You watch as Noose looks and goes, no, as he sees the cart and begins trying to like prestidigitate some magic to try and prevent this. Ember.
I'll
Lyra
say
try and
start
grab-
going.
Oh, yeah, you go.
I was going to say, I'll stop doing the ice now that it's obviously going a bit haywire.
And then I was thinking if Lyra can maybe sort of grab Tim in one arm, Ember in the other, and try and get us to counterbalance the lean of the cart, so it's not just going to go.
Watching
While
from
you-
behind, Bart's going to say a message to Satine. Just start saying a prayer.
I'm sorry I'll never see you again. One of my
I'm
companions
sorry.
attacked the cart. I tried my
I-
best.
I wanted to be with you, but it's not going to happen.
I let my team down. My inspiring leader feat wasn't discussing momentum, and now we're all dead.
Niles
Niles.
is probably just saying like,
Yeah.
I can't believe this is how it ends.
I said the wrong thing. Ember, you're not in the cart with him. Sorry, you're in the cart with Gobbly. It's Niles and Lyra in this front cart. Niles, I mean, you've got a chance to act here as you watch this ice begin to build up around the wheels of the cart and the cart begin to dangerously tip. Niles, I mean, you've got a chance here to react. Lyra is trying to push to the side, letting go of the water, and now trying to lean. What do you do?
I probably see the cart. I see Threign freezing up this wheel. I see the cart starting to slide around. I probably instinctively like go to counterbalance by like stepping up towards the opposite side to try and like I guess like counteract the lean a little bit. And I also just sort of shoot a glare at Threign and go, whoa, stop that. I think that's causing the cart to tip.
You see Threign there with his axe already pulled out, looking a bit sheepish.
That was a good idea though.
Niles and Lyra, could I both have you make me dexterity saving throws, please? As the two of you kind of work. Or tell you what, if you're Lyra, Niles, and you're working together on this, do you want to nominate one of you to make a roll with advantage?
Niles. But I was just going to say, because like if he's sort of leaning out, she might be able to sort of grab him by the arm, like he can lean
Exactly.
out further, but she can also pull him back in if he's about to get decapitated by anything.
25 is
That's
nice.
a good idea. I don't want to get decapitated by anything. That's my preference.
11.
Mm.
Okay.
That'd be
Handy.
nice.
We'll take the 25. As Niles, as you begin to counterbalance, the cart miraculously stays back on track. And as it goes over a particularly bumpy section, you watch as a section of the ice shatters, but the section that's keeping the wheels frozen on the axle doesn't. But the wheels thunk, knock back onto the track and are now locked in place again, sliding on a very thin layer of ice underneath before with a sudden the ice shatters and the wheels begin to spin again. The whole bottom of the cart at this stage is covered in ice. It's grown back towards the rear and is actually locked onto the section joining the two together. With the wood slightly splintered, Threign, your cart is a lot more mobile than it was before. The join keeping your carts together no longer quite as tight. But that weirdly is allowing for shock absorption, because with your cart now a bit less sturdy and a bit less well held together, not as much of that force is being transmitted back through to the rear cart. And as Noose goes to like cast a spell, he kind of pauses, lowers his hand and goes, "Oh, you had me for a moment there, but I think it's kind of working."
I sort of start doing sort of like the nervous laughter. I'm like, planned it all along. Easy. Leave it to me. I've got this.
Hey, sure you
So
did, of
how many of you
course.
guys were?
You go, Lara.
How many of you guys were certain we were going to die?
Did not mean to put that much ice into it.
Tim raises a hand.
You're already dead. We don't count.
The thought did cross my mind, but it's all good now. Excellent.
Oh, well, what better way than to die with friends, am I right?
Living with friends.
Behind Ember and Bartholomew, you
That's
watch as the
true.
cart slowly begins to stabilize. Having slowed down a little bit, your cart's getting closer and closer before one by one your carts dunk into the back of each other, forming almost a train as the carts are propelled along this mine track. The rest of your 15-minute journey through the tunnels goes by in a blur. Literally, the walls on either sides grayed out into just this featureless streak as the carts continue picking up speed. The gnomes occasionally topping up these stones and breaking them again to apply more thrust. Over time, though, you watch as the gnomes begin to remove the stones that were placed in there, the ones they hadn't broken, placing them back inside the chests very, very carefully, and then slowly pulling handbrakes at the bottom of the carts. As you slowly begin to come to a stop, you can see you're in another station, very similar to the one where you started. Lots more minecarts are set up, both on and off the track, and as you come to a full stop and slowly begin to climb out of the minecarts, there are 8 more tracks leading away from this space, seeming to go off in lots of different directions, including the one you came from. So I should say 7 more tracks, 8 including the one you've just come on, all of which seem to head in different directions. This seems to be somewhat of a hub of transport. You can see one of the signs above shows a scrawled picture, a scrawled carving of almost what looks like a city, tiered city carved into the stone. And as the gnomes sort of look up and sigh, you watch as Gobbledy in your cart, Ember, looks longingly and goes, "Oh, a bit of a shame we're not going to Blindenstone straight away, but we'll go there later."
Oh, I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, we'll get there soon. Let's get your friend first, and then we'll go to Blindenstone. I'm sure everyone's fine.
Wait, what?
I was going to say, Lyra's definitely happy to go get Harry first, but I thought we were going to Blindenstone
the plan was
first to drop off 2 of the gnomes.
We were going to check on a bit first because we had that whole talk about being the heroes.
In that case, then,
Yes.
there's Gobbledy just smiles and goes, "All right, great, in the cart, off to Blindenstone."
Wait. Okay. I guess Threign might have been daydreaming in that point. But I look at everyone. We're going to leave Harry for longer? As a prisoner?
No, Threign. The plan was to drop the gnomes off so they wouldn't be in danger. It wouldn't be much of a detour, as we discussed.
An hour or two at most.
And then, yes.
Okay.
It's
not happy about this.
I mean,
Is it that funny?
we could take one of the carts directly towards the Tower of Brilliance. I mean, if you wanted to, some of you to go ahead, we can. I mean, I'll be taking you. I'll be taking you back to Blindenstone, and then, I mean, whatever you want to do, whatever you think. I know Gook and Gobbledy are anxious to get home, but I mean, I'm happy to change the plan here if you want.
I mean, I think it could be a good idea to get Harry first, and then we all come back to Blindenstone together. I mean, best case scenario, Blindenstone is absolutely fine. Everyone's there is waiting. That's the most likely situation.
Yes.
On the other hand, if there's maybe something in there that they need a little bit more sneaky help with, I mean, our sneaky person is currently being held by the Drow, but I mean, I'm sure their skills will be invaluable for assisting if that's kind of required.
That's a good point.
The main thing we'd mentioned, though, was that signing up for this job with the Tempest Guild, Harry getting into what he's in, we need to help him, but this is part of the job. The town, from the sounds of it, there may be many injured people, dying people, rather than just one person.
Yeah, but I don't know them. I have no emotional connection with them.
You have a connection with the guides that have been saving our lives most of this trip?
I've also been saving this too. Tit for tat.
Yeah, but they're coming to help us to help Harry. Should we not help them with their friends, their family?
Oh, no, I will, 100%. But when Harry is safe.
And we're about 15 minutes from their home, rather than the hours it'll take to get to Harry.
I thought it was about half a day.
No, we're
So
on
if
the minecarts.
the minecarts are much quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're literally under half an hour of getting to their home, checking if it's safe, and then continuing.
So rough estimates, that cart ride for 15 minutes, you think that maybe saved you like the best part of a day's worth of travel?
Damn, that's pretty nuts.
Because it's not just that it's fast, it's direct, straight through.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of time saved by taking the minecarts, the special Svernibelin railway system.
I look at our little friends. I sort of kneel down. Look, it sounds like everyone wants to help you guys first. So if that's the case, do you have anything you can tell us for afterwards that can help us get to our friend faster? After
Gook nods. No, we'll get you back on the minecarts. There's a track system that we use for getting near to the Society of Brilliance Tower. It's only a short walk away from the tower itself. It'll get you there like quickly. Yeah, really quick. Like 10 minutes on the minecarts. You get there in no time. And it's only a very short walk from there, like maybe 5 or 10 minutes. It's pretty quick. And you can get that straight from Lindenstone.
So just before we had, decide on the direction and everything, I don't think this is the highest possibility, but say either Blendenstone is everyone's escaped and they're all hiding in, your secret tunnels and places, and you can't see anyone, or there's a actively occupying Duragar soldiers there. What do we do then?
Aye, that's a good question, lass. I'm not sure what we do. That's a tough one.
I definitely think, we check it out first, make sure that there's, if there's people that we can help, we need to help them. But on the off chance...
I mean, we know that the Duragar haven't found these tunnels. Only the gnomes can access these. Only the gnomes know about them. Maybe, Gobbledygook, if you're happy to take the minecart to Blendenstone, I can lead this lot to the Society of Brilliant Tower. We can meet you at the railcart hub in Blendenstone. You can do a bit of a watch, maybe keep an eye out from some of the safe points, stay hidden, and we'll meet up with you in an hour or 2 hours once we've got their friend back, and you have done some reconnaissance for us, maybe found what we need to know. I mean, the Duragar...
I don't think we should split up, though. That's possibly a bad idea. I'm sorry, I don't want to keep interjecting, but... I mean, we ran into this mess because we split up from Harry, and I'm thinking if we split up from you guys, we're going to be, doubly screwed.
Agreed.
But as long as we stick to the tracks, only the gnomes know about them. And even if Blendenstone has fallen, in a worst case scenario, there's no blueprints to lead them to the tracks. There's no messages, no hidden signs, nothing. Only it is something that we keep verbal only, and no Svernibelin would ever reveal their location.
I think I do see where Lyra's going, though. I guess it's more of a question of the heart. If there is a situation that looks like it is going to take hours or even longer to solve, can we abandon it for now and come back at a later date once we've then gone to Harry? Are you three comfortable with that?
You watch as the gnomes sort of turn to each other. Noose kind of nodding, but Gobbledy and Gook both looking much more concerned. Gook being like, no, but if they're in trouble, we need to get to them now. I understand your friend's hurt, but this is the last gnome stronghold. This is it. This is all our people have left. No, we can't abandon them, especially if we know something's going on. Even more importantly, we can't leave them.
Well, we would like to help, and rushing into by yourselves, it could lead to unprepared situations, but I do understand what it is to have that care. The one that is comfortable coming with us out of any of you can lead us, and the rest can stay. But just know that I guess in that case we can't stay.
That's a good point.
Gobbledy nods. Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. I mean, look, we can stay hidden. I can make sure Noose, no, it's not Noose. I can make sure Gook doesn't do anything stupid, and I keep an eye on her. But I mean, if you come with us and then there's a big situation and you have to leave again, I'm just worried that you've wasted that time. That's just gone now. It's the same as Gook and I just taking the railway cart now, heading straight there and keeping hidden, staying in the passages that join up the railways. If there is something wrong.
You do seem confident that the passageways are secure and safe.
Trust me, there's no way they'll ever be discovered. No Svernibelin would ever give up their location. I mean, we're only letting you lot know because you've saved our lives multiple times and because it's the quickest way back to Blindenstone. But like, you are the first outsiders to ever be shown these. We trade with the Society of Brilliance. They don't even know how we do it. We just tell them that we've got like tunnels that we take and we spend a lot of time walking. And I mean, it's the best guarded secret of the gnomes.
Well,
I believe that perhaps that a plan that you had where perhaps two of you go to the village and see, go to Blindenstone and assess the situation. One of them could come with us, and I hopefully the situation with Harry is resolved quickly. If we are having to look after the entirety of Blindenstone, that would take hours. I suspect whatever business we have to do with Harry could be resolved quicker.
That's the thing that we don't know. We don't have.
Well, we don't have any
information.
Well, that's correct. We have to make a choice.
Just to, throw another spanner in the works. The Sniffnerblin aren't the only tunnelers in the Underdark. I mean, there's all the rumors about these hidden tunnels. The Jirigar probably heard of them. Depending on, sort of how close the exit is to Blindenstone, if they've been occupying for a while, I don't think it would be unreasonable to think that they may have tunneled their own way in, sort of keep trying at various rocks, wait for a tunnel to open up. Oh, look, found a tunnel.
Here's the thing, lass. The Sverniblin, the Durgar, they don't do most of their own digging. They make the Sverniblin do it. We're slaves to them. We know our tunnels. We know the signs to look out for. We know the types of... We lay down little trails in the rocks, and if a Sverniblin is digging, comes close to one of these, they dig in another direction. They make it as impossible to find. They claim that they've dug into gas. They make it... They lie. They do everything they can to keep these hidden. I mean, this has been going on for years. No Durgar has ever come across a Sverniblin tunnel that we did not put in there for them to find as a decoy, that we did not make as a method. These tracks are the only things keeping our people safe. We guard them with our life. Any Sverniblin would lay down their lives to protect these.
I guess what I'm saying is, assuming the near worst case scenario, the cart's allowed. So if you guys are going to, sort of go in there and try and go in all stealthy, get some reconnaissance, see what's going on down there, I don't think you should use the loud crystals. If anything, depending on how long it is, just sort of maybe use the manual thing of the cart, but they could even hear that somehow.
The rocks actually do a better job. The rocks do a better job muffling the sound than you think. What sounds to us as loud explosions is only because we're in the tunnel where they're occurring. They're echoing off the walls, but it doesn't travel through solid rock as well as you might think. And whenever we're nervous about using a thing, we only will activate the crystals for the initial push off and let the cart slow down manually on its own. We all know the drills. Gobbledy, be careful, right? Yeah. I know what to do. I'm not gonna be an idiot, but. Yeah, I think we'll probably only use one crystal and then we'll just keep it quiet for the rest of the way, huh? If we have to walk a little bit or just drag the cart for a bit, no big deal. We still saved a fair bit of time by taking the carts at all.
And you're certain about your ability to be able to stay hidden even if something unexpected happens.
I'm going to roll a stealth check for Gobbledy. He's going to try and show off.
I just want to say I'm still not comfortable with this.
In any case, it pains me to say this, but Harry is a professional. He's known to handle himself fairly well. The people in Blindenstone, they surely, if they're in dire straits, would need our assistance in some way. And like I said, I think we should stick to the plan. We should assess the situation, and then, depending on the severity, we can make a decision then, and then we can decide to help, or we can go find Harry.
Harry isn't held by little bandits or something. He's held by Drow. He could be already dead before we know.
I don't think so. I think he could be, but if that's the case, it's a hard decision.
We're at a crossroads.
The gnomes have done a great deal getting us here.
Why not we put it to a vote?
Alrighty.
I was going to say.
Okay. I guess at the end of the day, we are a party, we're a group, so let's cast it to a vote. I vote Harry.
I vote checking on Blindenstone.
Likewise.
So do I.
I vote Harry. I mean, when I went missing, my party went and looked for me and brought me back. I mean, I wouldn't feel right doing not that.
Gook looks at you, Lyra, looks a little bit sad, and then looks at Dream. Bartholomew nods and goes, I just want to make sure my home's okay. I vote we go to Blindenstone. Noose sort of like shakes his head a little bit and goes, it's not my place to tell you what to do. I'm abstaining. I'm not making a vote. Gobbledy looks and goes, you're a bastard, old man. You're going to make me pick. Like, best case scenario, I tie the vote up.
Well, Ember said
Blindenstone. So I think it's actually...
It's already Blindenstone. You watch as
Gobbledy
Gobbledy sort of realizing this, goes, oh, great, yeah, cool. I vote we don't do anything. We just chill out here. Cool. See, it doesn't matter. Let's get in the cart and go, everybody. Come on. Chop, chop. All right. Okay. As you guys climb into the carts and begin making your way towards Blindenstone, we're going to jump back to Harry really quickly. Harry. I mean, you can see the Society of Brilliance tower now. The guard behind you all but confirms it, looking at the tower shining with light in this sort of valley in the middle of the Underdark, nodding. Ah, it is a wonder that we have let this thing stand for so long. I wonder if there is anything of use our people to gain from the Tower of Brilliance, as they call it. Perhaps we should pay them a visit after we have met up with our kin. Sort of muttering to herself in Elvish, not knowing that you can understand her.
Yep, Harry's just whistling away and singing, yeah, I've been working on the railroad all the livelong day.
You watch as the drow woman in chitin armor spins around a blade at your throat. What do you know of the secret railroad? She doesn't say that. It's just, as you guys carry along, the pathway that the drow leads you down almost moves down into a small gully where water once flowed. The edges eroded away, leaving these like river rock smooth passages. And as the drow move up onto a rise just above these, you can see what remains of an old camp, half hidden in a shallow, imprinted area of the rock. The drow reach up, and from inside the rock, an overhang has been created, carved away, which has this dark tarpaulin painted this dark grey, which they then pull down, covering this little imprint and hiding it, creating a hollow cave hidden from the outside by this canvas. And as they begin to unpack and set up a campsite, you watch as the male drow who'd been guarding you pulls out a length of cord and then gestures for you to sit down. I'm sorry, I have to hog tie you again.
It's rabbit tying when
I have to roast tie you again. Oh, rabbit tie you.
Yeah, okay.
On your front, please. I will set you back up once we are done.
Harry obediently lies on his belly.
Ties your arms back down to your legs with a tight length of rope and then sits you back up, taking care to sort of shift your shoulders so that your arms aren't cramped underneath you. Well, we will meet up with our kin soon and we will determine what to do with you, Rabbit.
Zeron, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for being gentle.
You have been more polite than most that we have taken. And I feel pity for you.
I feel pity for me right now as well.
I have to ask, why did you chase after? Because it was one of your friends in disguise who fled? You were trying to keep them safe from us? You were worried about them? Why risk yourself, expose yourself like that?
My friends left me a task, and I promised I'd see it through. So I did that to the best of my abilities, so that one day when I see him, I can always look back and know I didn't.
A good a reason as any, I suppose. It is honorable what you do for your friends. I will note this.
Hey, thanks, Aaron. You're not too bad.
He tilts his
You
head.
better get moving before you get in trouble, though. They don't want you sitting around talking.
No,
to
my
the,
task is to watch you. I am on babysitting duty. As long as you are not running away or getting me in trouble, I am not in trouble.
Oh, we should sing some songs then. That'll help the time go by.
Songs? I know some songs. What songs do you know?
Well, I actually don't know any Drow songs. You wanna teach me some of your music?
Do you want to make me a persuasion check, Harry? As you have consistently been trying to win this person over, and I want to see how much it's paying off.
I have disadvantage, don't I?
Sorry, buddy.
Yep, that's right.
You are exhausted.
That's in that one anyway.
It's a natural one.
Oh.
As he goes to speak, you watch as a shadow falls across the cave, and the woman in the chitin armor places a hand on the cloak of this drow and pulls him back, causing him to sort of stumble back as she glares down at him. Are you really so naive? He's trying to play you. He'd say anything to escape. Clearly, I have trusted you with too much responsibility. Even this was too hard a task for you. Go keep watch. And if we are ambushed in the night, we will leave you behind here. You watch as the Drow Shadowblade nods, looks back at you, Harry, a little bit suspiciously, and then moves out through the tarpaulin of the tent.
Harry bows. Sorry.
The lady in the chitis armor crouches down in front of you, her purple eyes locking with yours. I have had more of a chance to think, to reflect. I think we are going to need to set up an ambush, and unfortunately I'm going to need some bait.
Harry looks around. Oh, yeah? Where is the... Oh. Oh. Yeah,
Question
okay. I guess
is...
it's rabbit season.
The question is, can you be trusted not to blow our cover, little rabbit? If it is indeed the rest of our group, and they have returned and captured Zaylin, I will be true to my words. I will let you go. You are to scurry back to the surface. You are not to say of your experiences down here, and you will be free. If it is not the rest of the Shadowblades with Zaylin, and you warn them, I will kill you, along with your friends. If you do not warn them, I will let you go. You are free.
Look, I mean, you're using me as bait after all.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes then.
I guess we will. I could cut out your tongue to make sure that you could not tell them. Maybe your eyes so you could not look in the direction that would warn. That is not something they would see from afar.
Yeah, I can't
Maybe-
see in the dark anyway, so I wouldn't know where they're coming from.
She smiles as she looks around the cavern, which is almost in pitch blackness, and then looks back at you, making eye contact with her. Nice try, little rabbit. Nice try.
Okay, well, I don't actually have dark vision, so I don't know what I'm trying, but...
Here's the thing. I do not want to maim you without cause. I do not want to deprive the world of your funny voice if I do not have to. So here's the deal. I will gag you again and blindfold you. Set you up on a stake out in the open. Try not to make noise. It attracts predators. And you will be unable to defend yourself or run away? That sounds fair, does it not?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Get some sleep. We will set up our ambush in the next hour or two. Don't go anywhere. As she looks down at you hog-tied on the cave floor.
Harry laughs. Good one.
She cocks her head, smiling a little bit, and then backs away towards the other side of the cave. Harry, if you wanted to take a short rest, you can do so.
Since Harry's hide behind his back,
Yeah.
can he like fiddle with his pants to see if his tools are there? Yeah.
Yes, you can fiddle with your pants. Do you want to give me a sleight of hand check, Harry?
It's only a 12.
12. Unfortunately, that's an ability check. You do have disadvantage. Sorry, mate.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. I can do less. I can do worse. I can.
Oh,
That's a natural 20.
That's
We'll take the 12. Harry, as you begin feeling around, it does feel like they have taken your thieves' tools. But I want to quickly pull open your character sheet, and I want to see what they would have left you with. And I'll tell you exactly what's still in your pockets as you begin to sort of like...
Maybe some ball bearings?
Ball bearings they would have taken because you can use them to help escape.
Okay, they would have taken my crowbar.
Yeah, crowbar's
They
gone.
would
Your
have taken my
backpack's gone.
hammer.
Everything in your backpack's gone. It's more the stuff that was in your pockets. Yeah, daggers are gone. Small knife's gone. Thieves' tools are gone.
Yeah.
Nah, sorry, mate. Your water skin. Maybe a bit of string is still in your pocket.
Just a bit of string to tie around my finger in case I forget something. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's alright. I can still cast magic. Not really.
That's true. Kind of.
Can
No,
you?
I-
What's your spellcasting focus? I think it's your sword.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Pretty sure your rapier is your spellcasting focus.
Yeah.
Sorry, Harry.
And Zerom has that, right? Or was it a different soldier?
No, the male drow. Zerom has your sword.
Okay.
You'd only be able to cast verbal spells as well. No somatic, no material.
Yeah, because he's
Yeah.
hogtied.
I can cast Wrathful Smite, but then I can't hit anything, so...
He's also gagged, so I
It's pretty funny.
Okay, Harry will take the opportunity to rest. Does that clear my exhaustion, or...
Normally, I don't believe a short rest does clear exhaustion.
I think it's a
but
long rest.
Yeah, finishing
Yeah,
a
I think
long
it
rest
does.
clears the exhaustion.
Harry
Unfortunately.
will just roll
One
another
level of
hit
it in
dice.
case you have multiple.
Yeah. Harry,
It's 5. That's it.
as you finish your short rest and you are pulled to your feet by one of the female guards, you are marched down into the small hollow valley located below. The smooth walls, river rock smooth walls, opening up into what looks like a larger cavern. Maybe what was once a lake. The underside of the lake, the bottom of the lake, is this smooth, almost bowl-like structure in the rock, but the water long ago drained away, leaving this empty hollow, in the very center of which is a lone zirkwood tree, long dead, the branches broken, leaving only mainly the trunk with its roots still broken through the harsh rock underneath. The drow take you and they bind you to this tree. Hands behind your back, tied around to each other, legs spread-eagled, tied to each other around the base of this tree. And you are left there. Gagged.
I'm blindfolded and I'm gagged as well.
Blindfolded, gagged, and hog-tied to the tree.
Can't even Wrathful Smite now.
Right? So my ears are the only thing moving around.
Ears are the only thing moving around. And they leave you. You hear their footsteps receding into the distance, quiet.
Before you leave, can you just scratch my nose?
You are
Anyone?
gagged. Can you cover your mouth and say that, please? That's what the drow presumably hear, but there's no response. No one comes and scratches your nose, leaving you to like wriggle it alone in the darkness.
Terrible.
As the rest of the party take the short minecart route, the long geographic, short time-wise minecart route towards Blindenstone, you emerge into what looks almost like an underground station. Platforms of stone, 3 tiers with rail tracks running across them, heading out almost in like a honeycombed carved wall. The tunnels heading off in all directions, forming almost what looks like a massive nexus of all the rail carts meeting up. As you trundle down the leftmost corridor and come to a stop, the gnomes all dismount and begin heading towards what looks like a featureless stone wall. But as Noose once again reaches in and turns a section of stone depressing it. Again, impossible to discern from the outside wall, just by looking at it. As the stone doorway grinds open, you can see a long corridor. However, the gnomes don't lead you down that. Instead, they turn towards the right of this corridor, heading up a set of stairs that seem to climb up and up and up, above this minecart track station. And as they get to the very top, you watch as Noose once again turns a section of the stone ceiling and slides it effortlessly, the mechanism beneath allowing him to move this circular section of stone roof without any real effort at all. As you climb out and look over, you can see you're in this tower, looking down onto the city of Blindenstone, the city stronghold of Blindenstone. It is silent. No lights burn in the windows. No voices call out from below. Nothing moves. And then, you hear the sound of something sliding, almost like leather sliding against stone. This slithering noise. And that is where we're going to wrap up for tonight.
Oh, man.
Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. That is where we're going to finish for tonight's session, and we'll have to come back next week to see what dangers await in Blindenstone. And Harry, I'm also going to have to get Harry to roll a random encounter check as he is hog-tied to a tree in the middle of open section of the Underdark. Perfect bait for any creature coming past.
So this week I should go to the store and buy a mouth gag and a blindfold and just do the next session like that, right?
That'd be great. Thank you. That's good commitment to the. Yeah, thank you. That's perfect. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. It has been wonderful to have you join us for the journey once again. We will see you all again next time for more Return of the Giants, which will be back next Wednesday night live on Twitch. If you're watching this recorded on YouTube, thank you so much. And if you've hit that subscribe button, you're a bloody legend and we thank you for it. If you haven't hit it yet, it's okay. You can still become a bloody legend. Just hit the button. Job done. You've hit it. Thank you so much. You're a bloody legend. Wonderful to have you on board. Obviously, the podcast listeners, that's a little bit hard for you to do. If you do happen to have a YouTube account, you want to hit subscribe, really helps us out. Otherwise, Spotify lets you leave ratings. I believe the Amazon one now does too. So if you happen to be able to leave us a rating, we'd really appreciate it. From all of us here tonight, though, that is all we have to share. So stay safe, stay well, and we will see you all again next time to resolve this. Oh boy. Next session is going to be a spicy one.
Yeah, some chaos.
See you next time, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.